Right now at 5, it's an alert day. What areas could see wind damage and flood risks? Our weather team is tracking it all.
And Wisconsin Supreme Court delivers a win for Republican lawmakers. What it means for a tabled literacy bill.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 5. I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozorowski. We start today with weather. Heavy rainfall has been moving through the area, and with it, severe storms and flood risks.
First Warn meteorologist Greg Barnhart is tracking that line. Greg, what can we expect?
Well, we already had some action just west of Preston with a tornado warning that is now turned into a special weather statement, but we still got continue to see cells that are going to push east. The main threat right now is tornado, but we also have a flash flooding risk as we've seen in the last couple days. So those two things are the big thing, but damaging winds too, the other thing. And the tornado risk may wane a little bit this evening, but these are capable of producing damaging winds and torrential rain, and that's the one concern we're going to have. And most of it is south of Eau Claire, but Eau Claire has actually gotten quite a bit of rainfall today. They're going to see more. Right now, there's your tornado watch out box. It's till 10 p.m., mainly south of Eau Claire. You see there's no warnings. One is just northwest of Rochester right now. The line that produced the tornado warning earlier at Preston really has kind of weakened and formed more of a kind of a line now than a single cell. As you see wind gusts of 28 pushing through. A lot of the activity further west is continuing to push east. If they form a line, then the threat will be more of a damaging wind, but also training could prevent some torrential rain. As you see that circle up in Minneapolis, they've had reports of 2.5 inches per hour. So these are very good rain producers, and there is your rain amounts. Almost an inch in 3 hours likely fell like in a few minutes at Preston. So that gives you an idea of what those cells are. No rotation right now indicated. A little bit of wind, 30 to 40 gusts, potentially 50. That's why there's a special weather statement out on that. There's your rainfall rates, as I mentioned. Some could produce 2. Bigger picture shows as we look through the system right now. There's your future track. Has kind of a bow type shape in some of these lines, so the wind threat could be something to keep an eye on this evening. Meanwhile, Eau Claire still could be some heavier rainfall going on too. So later on we'll kind of break down all this, what goes on when further details, show you what Friday looks like, and then more importantly what the weekend also has in store.
All right, lots to cover. Thank you, Greg. And a reminder, you can always track weather on your block by downloading our First Warn weather app. You can find it at the App Store or on Google Play.
2 Eau Claire men face child sexual assault charges. James Barbie and Robert Karstensen allegedly abused multiple children from their neighborhood between 2014 and 2022. According to court documents, children would frequently play on the men's properties where the assaults allegedly occurred. Both admitted to inappropriate contact with the children to police. Karstensen is held on a $1 million cash bond and Barbie on a $250,000 cash bond.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court is siding with the legislature in a dispute with the governor. The court says Tony Evers improperly used his partial veto on a bill funding the state's reading law. Wisconsin signed Act 20 in July 2023, which requires schools to teach phonics for early literacy. Then months later, lawmakers wrote a bill including $50 million to implement that law. Evers partially vetoed the measure to change how the money would be spent, and lawmakers sued. That money has sat frozen ever since.
We were disappointed with the decision, but we live with that, and so it's just a matter of making sure that we're working together. I'm counting on people's goodwill to do the right thing.
The governor has partial veto power on appropriations bills, but the Supreme Court's ruling says that $50 million is not an appropriations bill, so the partial veto was unconstitutional. Top Republicans on the Joint Finance Committee say in part, quote, "Now that there is clarity, we look forward to releasing the $50 million set aside to support kids struggling to read and help implement these important bipartisan reforms."
Well, Toma's 4K program is seeing a major change.
News 8 Now's Allison Fergit explains.
Timber Pups 4K is expanding to an all-day program 4 days a week. Academic benefits are the main reason behind the move. Studies show full-day 4K programs improve students' educational outcomes.
It's just going to be fantastic to build those foundational skill sets that our little guys need. We find that over time that this will be strongly beneficial for our students, for our families.
There's a cost-saving benefit for families too. Timber Pups is free to attend, and with the new all-day model, families won't have to pay for childcare the other half of the day. More than 100 students are already already enrolled for 4K next school year. Throughout the summer, the district will monitor enrollment levels and will possibly add more classes if need be. Enrollment is still open for Timber Pups. We'll have information on how you can enroll your child posted on our digital platforms. Reporting in Toma, Allison Fergit, News 8 Now.
Well, the city of La Crosse is considering a new downtown housing project. Today, the Economic and Community Development Commission discussed a multi-use development at the old La Crosse Tribune building. The Chalmers proposal looks to build a 4-story multifamily building featuring 260 residential units and 5,500 square feet of commercial space.
You know, it's an underutilized building and then a vacant lot. So filling the need, or I should say, yeah, redeveloping that space and then filling the need for more housing. Obviously, there's a market here for what we're building.
The plan still has to be approved by Common Council. Developers hope to start construction this fall.
Well, a quick travel alert. State Route 162 shuts down for major construction today. The road will be closed from US 14 in Coon Valley to State Route 33 through November. Crews are replacing the deteriorating bridges along the route. WSDOT recommends using US 1461 and State Routes 27 and 33 to get around the work.
Well, this year's Riverfest medallion has been found. It was located in Onalaska's Roe Park. Abby and Izzy are this year's winners. Their search was narrowed down to either Myrick or Roe Park after today's hint, which read, "North of the bluffs and far from shore, seek a place where children explore. A city shares a founder's name and parks within it stoke the game." They won 4 buttons, $50 in food vouchers, and 10 free beverage tickets. Congrats to them.
Oh, yes. Well, it was a special day at the ballpark for some Brewers fans from the Cooley region.
Today marks the 28th Explore La Crosse Day in Milwaukee. It's longest running event of its kind that the Brewers host. Raffles, good food, cold drinks, and even some live music were at the pregame tailgate today. One La Crosse man has even made 25 of the 28 trips for some baseball, and he says it never gets old.
Actually, we did do it a year and a half ago, and we decided to come back. It was such a good time. They do a great job here, and it's well represented by the city of La Crosse.
And what a game to be at today. 2 of the premier young pitchers in the game in Paul Skeens of the Pirates and the Brewers' own Jacob Mizorowski. Milwaukee ended up getting the 4-2 win. Be sure to check back in at 6 and 10 for a full report from our Jacob Lenzendorf at American Family Field.
Still to come, questions remain about the U.S. strike on Iran. More on the conflicting damage assessments of the nuclear sites.
Plus, one step closer to the picket line. Minnesota nurses considering a strike.
Is your relationship suffering from nagging bed aches? The all-new Sealy Posturepedic. Can you feel the support? That's the Precision Fit coils. They flex to your body, supporting you where you need it most. Stop stressing, start sleeping with Slumberland's 365-night sleep guarantee.
Get an 11% rebate on everything in Menards. Update your living spaces with new flooring. Mohawk laminate floors are durable, waterproof, and easy to install. Solutions 10 laminate flooring is $239 per square foot after rebate. When you're looking for new appliances, Menards is the place to shop. You'll find a great selection ready to take home today. Right now, get this Maytag side-by-side refrigerator for $13.98 plus 11% rebate.
Save big money. Great meal. We can't wait to see you again at Culver's.
What makes us happy is making you happy.
We want every meal
to be filled with big bite moments.
Lick the spoon moments.
And even get your hands off my cheese curds moments.
They're just too good to share. From the juiciest bites to the sweetest scoops.
We're all about bringing people together
over delicious food. From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
The most important value at Schwabel Getz & Sieben is our commitment to our clients.
Schwabel Getz & Sieben is 100% committed. They're there from start to finish.
My team at Schwabel Getz & Sieben was incredibly responsive.
They did a great job for us from the beginning to the end.
They had a plan from the first meeting on how they were going to handle our case.
They really were on top of everything. They left nothing to chance.
Call Schwabel Getz & Sieben or visit us at schwabel.com for a free consultation.
Is snoring keeping you awake at night? Try the Temper Ergo Smart Base. It provides a holistic sleep experience and has snore response technology.
It works.
What?
You're going to buy me this smart base.
Slumberland. Stop stressing, start sleeping.
President Trump says U.S. officials will be talking with their Iranian counterparts next week in the wake of the U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites.
Erica Brown has the latest from Washington.
Tremendous things have been accomplished.
President Trump says the U.S. will meet with Iran next week as the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Iran holds for now.
We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, they had a war, they fought. Now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not.
Speaking to reporters at the NATO summit in the Netherlands, the president once again insisted that Iran's nuclear sites were destroyed.
We blew it up. It's blown up. To kingdom come.
But questions remain about how much damage the U.S. missile strikes did. An early leaked classified assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency found the strikes may have only set back Iran's nuclear program by a few months, while an Israeli assessment found the strikes took years of Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Here on Capitol Hill, senators are hoping to get more details about those U.S. strikes on Iran at a classified briefing set for Thursday.
What is the state of those facilities? What is the timeline in which Iran could try to break out and build a bomb? We have a lot of serious questions that demand serious answers, not the kind of inconsistent political spin that we've been hearing.
At the NATO summit, all but 2 member nations agreed to dramatically increase defense spending to 5% of their GDP, something President Trump had been pushing for.
I want to state here, without President Trump, this would not have happened.
The president also met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky behind closed doors. Afterward, President Trump, who has been critical of Zelensky in the past, said the Ukrainian leader is fighting a brave battle against Russia. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices is meeting in Atlanta. It's the first meeting since HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fired the 17 sitting members and replaced them with his own. The panel is holding a key vote on the use of RSV vaccines among pregnant women and young children.
This group, they're smart people. They're a little more cynical, I would say, and suspicious of established medicine. And so they're expressing that in their comments.
The panel is set to meet again tomorrow to review data on shots for the flu and other diseases.
Thousands of Minnesota nurses have voted to authorize a strike. Their union accuses several healthcare providers of unfair labor practices in negotiating a new contract.
After years of dedicated service, we're treated as data points. And now they've offered us a wage increase so small it doesn't even make up the cost of living. Another line item in their plan to cut costs and maximize revenue at the expense of patient care and worker well-being.
Nurses say they're frustrated with proposed cuts to overtime, proposed pay increases, and lack of health care options. The union has to give 10 days notice before a strike.
Shell says there is no talk to take over rival company BP. The oil company said the report is furthering market speculation and no talks have taken place. Bloomberg first reported on the takeover speculation in May. BP has declined comment.
Well, Chick-fil-A is topping the list for customer satisfaction again. It's the 11th straight first place finish. The American Customer Satisfaction Index is based on surveys of more than 16,000 people. Chick-fil-A came out on top with a score of 83 out of 100. Well deserved. We'll have more news ahead.
But first.
Yeah, we do have severe weather this evening, but we still got that flooding threat that goes all the way through Thursday for some flash flooding, but also the rivers. We'll have to take a look at that too. We'll break all that down and show you what our temperatures look like going into the weekend. That coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
Working with Maxwell White was amazing. They were professional, answered all of my questions.
I give Maxwell White my highest possible recommendation.
Maxwell White did a fabulous job on our shower. 5-star plumbing service done right.
Planning a home renovation? Save money and time by calling Habitat for Humanity's Reclaim program. Habitat will remove your cabinets, flooring, windows, appliances, and more for free. Habitat sells reclaimed items at the Restore rather than sending it to the landfill. With Reclaim, you can save money, go green, and support Habitat. To schedule your free Reclaim service, go to habitatlacrosse.org/reclaim.
I'm Lawrence Janney. I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
At Toma Health, we're committed to providing comprehensive orthopedic care for our community.
We spend a lot of time training to do what we do, but we still have to be able to interact with the folks that are coming to see us for care. I think that the group that we have right now enjoys what they're doing. They're happy about what they're doing. So I think that our future's bright, for sure.
Learn more about Toma Health's orthopedic surgery at tomahealth.org.
When Arby's says euros, you say 2 for $7. Euros. 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 Louder. Arby's. We have the meat.
It's the 4th of July sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota, with incredible values for every room in your home. Stunning sofas and sectionals, the latest bedrooms, exciting new dining rooms, and the best selection of leather around. Now's the time to take advantage of big savings on quality brands like Daniels Amish, Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, and Trustless. Plus, there's 48-month special financing and free gas just for shopping Drury's. More choices, better values. It's the 4th of July sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Congressman Derek Van Orden just voted for Trump's working family tax cuts that mean higher wages and a 15% tax cut for working families. No tax on tips and no tax on overtime. Thank Derek Van Orden for supporting Trump's working family tax cuts.
When you have a drain backup, you need help fast. From slow drains to clogged mains, we solve it all. Maxwell White has been solving sewer, septic, and drain issues in the La Crosse Coulee region for more than 30 years. Fast, reliable, and professional. Call or book online today.
Yeah, we definitely have the flood threat is one to not forget about, even with the severe threat going on for the damaging winds and tornadoes, because this is more widespread and we've already seen some of it, and we still got to go through Thursday with it too. So the flood watch is out. Really, flash flooding includes all type of flooding, but flash flooding, rivers, you can see the darker areas right there. We have the yellow, the black, and the Kickapoo that have flood warnings or flood watches out for those rises. But keep an eye if you live in low-lying areas, urban type environments, poor drainage areas. For the next day, you could see quite a bit of rainfall too that could cause some issues, especially like yesterday if we see it training over the same area that could produce very heavy rainfall. So don't forget that. And as I mentioned, the yellow, Kickapoo, and black right now, minor flood stage coming up this weekend that definitely could change based on what we see with precipitation over the next 7 days. The Mississippi is going to probably rise to near action here later next week. This could also once again change with all the water coming in, especially now that Minneapolis is getting rain too. So keep an eye on that, but right now I'm expecting minor, just action stage, and of course, as I mentioned, the creeks too. So overall, here's the big outlook right now, and the watch is out to the yellow. That's out till 10 p.m. We have a special weather statement for that cell that went south of Preston. That is now coming into the La Crosse area here pretty soon. Overall, a lot of this area is beginning to kind of fill in. So we'll see if the tornado threat continues, but it does hamper that a little bit if you don't see the single cells that we had going on right now. The wind threat, definitely these could come together and produce wind. Hail, not too much. The freezing level is so high up with this warm conditions, it's really going to be damaging winds or tornadoes. And up into Minneapolis, that is because they had torrential rain over 2.5 inches per hour. So right now, there's your activity coming through that was severe, even tornadic. Now here comes the cell right now. They actually just produced a severe thunderstorm warning with this. That'll be likely damaging winds and or heavier rainfall. You see the wind right there. There is a little bit of rotation right going on with that, so we'll have to keep an eye on with that one near Caledonia. Right now it's northwest of it heading southeast. So that's the main action right now heading into the area. Wind speeds right now 31 to 35, but note that rotation, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout there. Torrential rainfalls, that is definitely a problem. When you're seeing this yellow, you're looking at maybe 2.5 inches of rain per hour. If it starts training over the same area, that is why we're concerned with flash flooding. So these all contain probably 2.5 inch rain rates with them too as these cells continue to push east too. So if we go back there a little bit there, overall, if we try to track this out, this is the one we're going to keep an eye on right there. That's the storm right there that's going to come through. So La Crosse, we'll definitely have to keep an eye to see if that could be damaging winds coming through La Crosse at 6 to 6:15 if it holds together. Otherwise, Eau Claire, a lot more rainfall coming. That's going to be probably the big three. Could be heavier rain threat. We'll keep an eye on the severe threat. The thing is, once we get to about 9 or 10 p.m., that pushes east and we'll have showers continue overnight, but the severe threat really kind of is done with. The heavier rain we'll have to keep an eye, but it looks dry until we get later in the night when we'll see a next round of showers. Maybe thunderstorms come through. That rainfall right now looks fairly light. That could impact the morning commute. We'll have to keep an eye on that going through Thursday. There's another round coming in the afternoon time frame too. Rainfall all the way through 9 p.m. Thursday. Could be 3 to 5 inch potential in the swath of area where these storms do line up. Otherwise, a lot of areas are going to see 1 to 2 inches and more. So definitely a wet period, and that's why the flood threat is definitely out there since we've already saw it. Now, high temperatures tomorrow, 60s north, but more sunshine farther to the south. We will see a break in the morning. Could get some areas in the mid-80s before the cold front comes through in the afternoon, and that's when we expect another round of thunderstorms. Once again, flooding threat definitely is there. Maybe a severe threat we'll keep an eye on. Friday, looking good. Mid-70s, near 80. Less humidity, clouds in the morning, more sun in the afternoon. It's actually going to feel nice and drier, too. Unfortunately, we do have a warm weekend ahead, not quite as hot as last weekend. Storms come through Sunday. And all of next week, minus a little bit of a shower chance on Monday morning, it's going to be about seasonal conditions and less humid and pretty typical first of the week July temperatures, too.
All good news right there.
So far, and that could extend through July 4th weekend. We'll keep an eye on right now, but so far, nothing significant really looks to be in the
Yeah,
works.
we're getting back to normal for June.
But yeah, definitely this evening, keep an eye on rain, flooding throughout. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning right now out, so we'll keep an eye on that, too.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Well, 2 bears just pulled off the sweetest crime of the year.
The honey heist that left sticky bandits passed out from their feast up ahead.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Out with the old and in with the deals, only at Wesco Home. It's our inventory clearance event with up to 50% off furniture. It's the perfect time to refresh your space and save big. Your home, your style, your savings, your Wesco. And tell them Peyton sent you.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save. Get $4,250 cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, $2,250 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP.
At US Cellular, we created an event to celebrate our customers, like Luana here, called Us Days.
Yeah, they give us special rewards and exclusive deals in everything. It almost feels like we're part of a cool club together.
Sure does.
Slide Connect. Woo, woo, woo. Hug, shake.
Us Days just got bigger. All customers get a free phone with no trade-in.
You might say, Rochester, Minnesota. Really? We say yes. Really. Home of Minnesota's highest rated beer. Really. A booming live music scene. Really. One of the country's top rated speakeasies. Really. An oyster bar that farms its own exclusive oysters from the coast of Maine. Really. The perfect blend of big city experiences with small town convenience. This is Rochester, Minnesota. Really.
Out with the old and in with the deals, only at Wesco Home. It's our inventory clearance event with up to 50% off bedroom sets and mattresses. It's the perfect time to refresh your space and save big. Your home, your style, your savings, your Wesco. And tell them Peyton sent you.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
2 bears pulled off the sweetest heist of the year at a UK wildlife park.
Lucy and Mish escaped their enclosure and raided staff storage for a week's worth of honey. The breakout happened due to what the park called an operational error.
Cameras caught the honey heist as staff moved visitors to safety, and after their feast, the sticky bandits, they passed out.
Of course they did. It's like me after eating Chinese food on a Sunday. Just completely out
Rest
cold.
of the day is done.
Yes. I love that they went after honey, though. Isn't that the quintessential snack?
Quintessential Winnie the Pooh moment.
The
Love
cutest. All right, Greg is a final look at your forecast right after this.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 40-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $60. That's a 40-cent fuel saver for every $60 you spend in-store and online. Thursday only, and only at Hy-Vee.
During the July 4th sale at PM Sleep Center, you'll save up to $200 on select Sealy Posturepedic mattress sets. Hurry in early for the best selection. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving La Crosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Dutch Boys Forever Exterior Paint and Primer in One provides exceptional fade resistance to ensure beautiful, lasting color. A gallon starts at $38.97 after rebate. Maximize your curb appeal with Dutch Boy Max Bond Plus Exterior Paint. It provides max adhesion, hide, and performance while repelling rain in just 90 minutes after application. Pick up a gallon starting at $47.87 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
At Vernon Memorial Healthcare, we believe in your birth, your way. From prenatal visits to postpartum care, we provide continuous support, respect your birth plan, and ensure a smooth transition from pregnancy to parenthood. With expert lactation consultants and a comforting home-like environment, we're here for you before, during, and after delivery. Vernon Memorial Healthcare, where your journey is in caring hands.
At PM Sleep Center, you'll save up to $600 on select Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Hurry in early for best selection. Your next mattress is at PM Sleep Center, giving lacrosse a good night's sleep for over 35 years.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 40-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $60. That's a 40-cent fuel saver for every $60 you spend in store and online. Thursday only, and only at Hy-Vee.
Yeah, right now we do have a severe thunderstorm, actually a tornado warning out now for just west of La Crosse. If you look at radar right now, you can see that indicated right there. Right now it's indicated about 12 miles west of Caledonia, moving east at 15 miles per hour. You definitely can see that right now indicated there. If you're watching the newscast, they indicated that there was a little bit of rotation with that when the severe thunderstorm warning came out, so not surprised that we're seeing some of that right now. Big picture shows that is the one main storm that we're looking at right now. If we can zoom in a little bit here, we will see the rotation and take some lightning off. We can actually get a better look at this, and definitely a very strong indicated core right there. You want to look at the greens and reds coming together, and that is very tight right now, just near the Yucatan area. So that tornado warning is out until 6 p.m. Fillmore, Houston right now. Definitely take shelter with this one going towards the Sheldon area. Eventually you might get to 76 here. Current track would take it just north of Caledonia too, but it could actually turn a little bit towards the east-south, going towards the east-southeast, which sometimes these storms do, at least the core part of it. So if they still keep an eye on that. Severe thunderstorm warning extends outside of that area, probably for damaging winds too. Definitely right now, look at see if we got any reports of that. Debris signature is evident on radar. We'll get that in a second where we can actually see that. There's your rotation checker, give you a bigger picture, kind of zoom out where it's actually located. Precipitation rates too is all that, but let's get to the debris indicator that we could see with that. And let me pull that up and show you that it is showing it pretty good right now. There we go, load that up, and we should be getting that here in a second. Right now, no confirmation on the ground, but when you see a debris signature that we're going to show you here in a second, it's pretty good indicating that we do have something on the ground here. So let's zoom in back in the storm, give you an idea where we're looking at. And let's turn the warnings back on so we can see where that is. Right there, you definitely can say everything outside is just environmental stuff, but right near Yucatan, you see it a different color and very bright, indicated right there. That is a debris signature, so there definitely probably is a tornado on the ground at some point in that area. Definitely heading south to the east towards Sheldon. Not confirmed on ground, but when you see a radar signature like that, it's pretty much a guarantee you have something on the ground going on. It's a very clear-cut signature, one we rarely see in this area. So let's go. Big picture shows you can see all the action right now is just west of La Crosse with that line coming through. We have more cells to the west, but let's go back to the main one that we're monitoring right now for the tornado warning. And let's put that in motion to give you an idea what we're looking at right there. Let's see right now, and there it is coming through. So definitely is kind of turning to the southeastward section right there. That's why I'm always indicated that even though the track is going, the tornado warning is to the northeast towards the Houston area, it tends to do a little bit of a turn towards the southeast. So Caledonia right now, definitely you want to take shelter, be on the lookout. You definitely don't want to be on the road on 76 as this comes through. There's a tornado, as mentioned, it's right just south. If we zoom in and stop it, it would be right near the Yucatan area. Let's go now here, there we go. That's where the rotation debris signature is too. So It will continue to push east. Outside of that, and give you an idea how fast this is moving. These storms aren't moving particularly fast. That's the one thing. Still 30 to 40 miles per hour. So the rain potential with this storm also is something to keep note of too. Torrential rains right now. Let's see, and we have nothing right now, but that is what is going on. So we continue to monitor that. Let's go back to the, that storm is actually getting fairly close to the La Crosse area. So we zoom in right now and let's fix this here. There we go. So there is your signature of what you're looking for winds from the radar, and it has a very strong, as we call it, couplet, even wrapping it around. So that is a very good signature tornado warning pushing towards the area. That warning is till 6 p.m. Central Time. The actual severe thunderstorm warning extends a little bit further to the northeast. That is also going on until 6:40, but it extends all the way to Union, Mound Prairie. Caledonia is included with that, but our main focus continues to be that main storm right now. And let's put this in motion and give you an idea what we're looking at here in the last hour. Let's go last there. There we go. Let's rotate that. And it's going real fast, so let's slow that down for you. Very slow. There we go. So it is wrapping up. That is probably one of the strongest signatures we've seen here in quite a long time on radar. Indicates you have a tornado on the ground and it is coming through. We haven't had any videos or photos of this one yet. We're still waiting for storm spotters out there to see if they can actually see it. It may be rain wrapped too completely. There's a large rain, but that definitely is a tornado spinning around right there. Coming towards, right now the track would take it just north of Caledonia through Highway 76, State Road, I should say. It could make a turn. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The severe thunderstorm warning, gust of winds outside of that extend till Black Hammer and Caledonia right now to the east too. So that continues to be the issue that we're looking at right now. Let's look at something here. It's this, and let's continue on with this right there. That's another picture of it too, and we'll get a bigger picture. Now if we kind of look at winds aloft to here, there's your precipitation rate too. Got to keep an eye on this. These storms aren't particularly moving that fast, and with the rain rates as such they are, that storm will be one you'll have to definitely keep an eye on. As you see some of these rain rates within there, could be torrential rains of 2 and 2.5 to even 3 inches per hour. So that's another rain. Outside of it, let's look a little bit outside of that to see if there's anything else to be concerned about right now. If we kind of zoom in, zoom out a little bit. La Crosse is about ready to get hit with that. We have activity just southeast of Winona. All the stuff to the southwest right now is not severe. That's approaching Decorah. But as you notice, all that is coming along the same area in a little bit of a training, so the flooding potential definitely is keep an eye on. Further north, the tornado watch goes out up all the way just south of Eau Claire, but they're just going to see precipitation really increase later this evening when all this activity to the west of Minneapolis and all to Rochester begins to push up to the northeast. So we're not seeing any of that too much. So really the main storm we're keeping an eye on as we still see it definitely is still rotating through and looking very healthy. You're getting very close now to passing 76, and these warning boxes aren't that far out just because it gives you an indication that we're only looking at these storms moving at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So they're not fast moving, but definitely that's the one to keep a note of. Let's continue on to see if we get the debris signature here. Let's look at that a little bit closer. There's a rotation. You can see it spinning right there, and then we'll take a look at the debris signature on that too. And let's get rid of the lightning there. There you go. And let's go for now. And you can definitely still see it there. It's going to get a little messy with the radar here in a second with it. But there is a signature right there you can see for a little bit. Let's get back out there. It's getting a little bit more contaminated with getting close to radar. We'll have to fix that a little bit. But the signature was there before. We're still seeing it rotating around. So now it's just north of Sheldon and ready to pass over the Caledonia area and still looking very healthy right now compared to that. So once again, if you're in the area, take shelter immediately. There is a tornado likely on the ground. We've seen a debris signature there. Your Yucatan go now just north of Sheldon, pushing to the east. Damaging winds with this also, and very torrential rainfall likely in a lot of these areas that may not see the actual tornado come through. This is all associated with the line. So we'll continue to see if this pushes eastward, but for right now, it is marching there. And give you an idea, you can see it kind of wrapped up fairly close. Just at the end of the broadcast, it really began to wrap up and then push into the east. We'll see if the circulation, likely these storms do cycle back and forth. And you can notice that the last one, it has now just kind of not as sharp looking as it was before, which indicates it may be weakening and lifting a little bit. Maybe is the big question. Still likely something on the ground. But these storms do cycle. So even if that does happen, it could see another one form, and we still could get a damaging wind. So definitely take shelter regardless if this is going to be a tornado-warned storm or not as it continues to push east. But that does look a little bit less tight as we saw before with the greens and the reds really close together. It's a little bit separating a little bit more. So it may tend to be a little bit weaker with circulation, that is, but definitely still take shelter. We're still looking at Sheldon right now. Other note to see that with these storms too is the tornado threat with that one, but the also threat we have to keep an eye on. Let's go to another image to show you here. Is a little bit of these are coming to get a little bow features, we call them, meaning it looks like the shape of a bow, an arrow. And if we zoom out, you can kind of see some of these take that shape, and when they do kind of line up, that indicates more of a damaging wind threat. So as you see these lines just southwest begin to form, that's the thing that we'll have to keep an eye on. Even though maybe the tornado threat will weaken, the damaging wind threat will be maintaining it as it pushed east. Right now, there's only a special weather statement. That's what the white box is for Lime Spring, given that winds could be gusting over 50 miles per hour, not quite severe, but still could cruise to some tree damage and so forth, and something to keep in mind of. Further north, you can see there's a little bit of a push right there towards Carson City. So this all could be wind too, and along with rain. But as we zoom back in, La Crosse, you're getting very close to seeing some of the impacts of this storm as it gets closer. Right now, still a tornado warning out. It's kind of getting close to being outside of that box, but if it continues to push east, it's going to get here probably in State Road 44 pretty soon. Looks like the main core is heading just north of Caledonia. Let's look at to see if the rotation is as strong as it was before. Not as kind of real broad. It was, you can still see there is a little bit of rotation just north of Sheldon. But if you go back in time, you can see when we were looking at maybe about not very long ago, right there, very tight, and now it has since they broadened out a little bit to maybe weakening, but still there could be a tornado on the ground with that. That is still heading just getting close to 76 right now. It should be there here fairly soon. And no updates yet from any confirmation, but you could definitely see the base velocity right there. It looks at that, that's from the radar. And as I mentioned, all these storms, you see these yellows, these really getting to maybe, you could call them orange color, even brown color. That indicates the torrential rain. If we can actually pinpoint these with these storms, they're looking at least an inch per hour. If we zoom in even more, I know some of these storms are producing likely, even the ones that aren't severe, like the ones up just east of Winona or Trempealeau County, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 inches per hour. So I don't discount the flooding threat, which can kind of show up fairly quickly without notice with some of this activity too. Although the main threat is still the tornado threat right now. The main thing that we're looking at right near to Sheldon, a very healthy core, and you can see almost the whole thing rotating too. It just matters if that rotation is going to the ground. We did have a debris signature on radar when it entered the county near Yucatan. Since it's kind of not showing that as clear, as we look at, let's save this and go to the next one. Right there's your rotation, and we're keeping an eye on that. It's fairly too broad too now, so still indicating of a tornado threat there. Whether it's on the ground or not, unsure. Right now, it is going to pass just to the north of Caledonia, passing the state road there. Really torrential rains, severe wind gusts with this. Right now, I'm not seeing if we put any storm reports on that, nothing. And let's see if we can get any type of, not seeing that either too. So overall, still looking at that threat coming through. Earlier on, Preston had over an inch of rain coming with some of this, likely probably more too, in a very short amount of time. So heavy rain threat too. There's your smaller tornado warning now, new one out. They kind of shrunk it down to cover that little core that's coming through right now. and it's just passing over the state road just north of Caledonia. Definitely want to take cover if you're in that area. Obviously avoid the area if possible. And then we're keeping a watch on the general thing of the thunderstorm that's going through right there. Overall, it looks a little bit less impressive, and the path of that would take it maybe just to the south of La Crosse, or just southern areas of La Crosse. So get the core of this, and then could be heading just to areas towards maybe like Stoddard and northern Vernon County areas right now if it continues to push east and maintain its severe threat. It definitely looks still severe, and the core of that too is still the tornado warning out there too. So to give you an idea of that severe thunderstorm, like I said, they're looking at maybe moving, that is 45 there for that one, and so far we have not seen any reports of there yet. So far nothing yet. Let's see, nope. So we'll continue on with this and see if we see anything else. Debris signature, nothing there, and we still see a very broad area still. So severe thunderstorm warning and the tornado warning are out till 6 p.m. And if we look at any other types of threats right now, that is really the main rotation we're keeping an eye on right now. The rest of the activity, if we go back and zoom out, you can kind of see that it's mainly just a line of storms to the southwest, to Leroy, all the way down to Mason City too. And this activity right there, as it begins to maybe form lines, it's going to be the wind threat. But also notice how it's coming somewhat over the same area, although it is shifting eastward. The line is still southwest northeast. That means you could get some torrential rains over the same areas. So as this storm passes over Caledonia area and all those areas, you have more activity to the southwest of that. Could produce significant rain. And in fact, we can look at what rain vision says like now on that. Let's see what we got. Let's do that one. Let's do this one. There we go, 3-hour rainfall. Let's see if we get anything out there. Right now, it's kind of still early in the game to see this, so this will begin to pick up, but it'll be interesting to see what we get out of rainfall rates. Let's try this, go back to the tornado. Still got that. Let's see if we got any updates on that. So far, nothing. Let's see, yeah, the debris signature has gone. The rotation continues. So they're still issuing the tornado warning on it. The debris signature has gone, meaning it might have lifted up a little bit, but there's still definitely rotation there. You can see it on this winds here. You still got a little bit of a tightness right there. Once again, it recycles, so it will go through recycling some of these stronger supercells. So it'll weaken, recycle, and come back up, and that's why you have to still keep an eye on it. Overall, if you look at radar itself, you can see there's a general rotation kind of going on with that core, and when we talk the core, we're looking at the strongest reflectivities or the brightest colors. In this case, it's kind of purple to a little bit of dark red. That is rotating around right now, pushing to the northeast. So that tornado warning is now kind of extending. That looks like the rotation is kind of getting a little bit out of the box, so we'll see if that's extended. There's definitely still severe thunderstorm threat with this. It's going to be at least another few, about another half hour, 40 minutes till it gets to the La Crosse area. These are only moving at about 30 to 40 miles per hour, so they are slow movers, which then increases the flooding threat because they can produce a lot amount of rain, and the training is something we'll definitely keep an eye on right now. But as for right now, the main focus still is on this one. Signature right there for rotation. We kind of zoom in right now. You can kind of see it's kind of tightened up again now where it was before, just east of Sheldon. You can kind of see it went a little bit broad there and very tight in Yucatan. So once again, the debris signature we had earlier is gone, but there's still that rotation definitely there now, just passing over State Road there, heading into the east. So that is the one. It looks like, give you an idea with rain, we talked about those storms up Winona area. They've had almost 2 inches of rain too coming and still raining. So that threat is definitely there, and probably more widespread threat for a lot of areas than just the severe threat too. So I definitely don't want to keep that in mind as we go through. Let's go here and see the debris. I didn't see anything last time with this, and it's very hard to see anything right now. There may be something there, but I just don't see it as clear as it was before. So give you an idea here of let's pull over to this one and give you a flash flood thing. That we don't have any warnings right now, but the whole area is under a flash flood watch, or a flood watch as we call it, till tomorrow morning due to that threat that continues on. To give you a big picture with severe threat going on, the tornado watch for the entire area is out until 10 p.m. This covers most of the area just south of Eau Claire. There is your severe thunderstorm warning that we're monitoring and the tornado warning that's embedded in it. Heading towards just south of La Crosse, maybe northern Vernon County. We'll see if that storm, they are kind of shifting to the northeast, but the whole line is also moving to the east. So the line is kind of moving, those individual cells are moving southwest and northeast, but the whole line is shifting eastward. So give you an idea what's going on with that. Flood watch too, as I mentioned, is out till tomorrow morning, but that's your severe threat right now with that warning, and then another storm west of Rochester right now. Let's see if we got any updates with that. Nothing yet. Go back, we'll see the future track. I'll show that here in a second to give you an idea of what to expect with this and the other things. Really, as you see, you're not seeing the purples anymore, really dark, now dark red. That means the core may be weakening a little bit. If you're thinking about hail, that's really not the thing to really worry too much about, given that the freezing level is so high with these storms. We call it warm cloud depth, that it really kind of distinguishes the hail. The hail's going to melt if there's anything formed. So that means there you get the heavy rain threat, but also this environment, which is more of what the southeast part of the U.S. gets. Means it's going to be more of a damaging wind. We have the tornado threat today, but then also the flash flooding issue too, meaning with these rain ones that are very efficient rain producers, as the area saw yesterday in La Crosse, when you get training over the same area can result. So far, still pushing east. Let's look at if we see any of the rotation. That gives you an idea how much has continued. It's still there, but let's go back to, let's do now and zoom in to give you an idea there. Right there, we can kind of still see. Let me get the tool here that we can draw with a little bit and give you an idea of what we're seeing. Let's see. So far right there, it doesn't look as what we would expect the time frame. Let's see. Right there, and still the 6 p.m. Still continues to push east. If we kind of go back in time, it hasn't shown too much of a trend of either getting stronger or getting weaker. It's just still remaining. Now has pushed east of the state road, entering the new county here fairly soon. Let's see, we haven't seen anything new on it yet. Let's continue there. So let's try this a little bit. Let's see here. So far not seeing that, so I think we're good there. So let us go back to here and see what we got with that. That's base velocity. Big picture, we'll kind of zoom back out for the precipitation here. As I mentioned, rain rates with that, so you're looking at pretty healthy rain rates, and I also mentioned the one in Winona too. But if you look further to the southeast, all these storms are producing some very hefty rain amounts and kind of going over the same area, so we'll monitor that threat as much too. As we go back to that storm too, now it's kind of outside the box, pushing east, still rotating. Right now, if it continues, it's going to push just south of La Crosse. You may be looking at just southern La Crosse County if it continues to push east, potentially northern Vernon County. Rain will be the big threat. We'll have damaging winds, although we haven't seen too much reports, and the tornado threat continues, although it's not as strong as it was probably in Fillmore County or when it was at Yucatan passing over. But La Crosse definitely going to have to watch for this, take shelter if we do get a warning on this, although it may go just south with the core of this, maybe Shelby, and then going downwards towards Stoddard area would be the area that might be passing through at some point here in the near future. But let's take a look at the signature here. Continues to go through. We're still looking at maybe potentially there, right there, kind of circulating. Still broad. Once again, this is kind of passing out of the warned area, so we'll expect to see another warning here come shortly. But the severe thunderstorm warning also covers the area to the east too, and that continues here for another few till 6 p.m. So we got another 10 minutes potentially on that. And then after that, it'll be then heading east, and we'll see if it still maintains it. But still, we definitely got a rotation aloft at least, so the potential exists for the tornado too. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at the future track here to give you an idea of what could be going on here in the next several hours with this activity here. Let's see. There we go. And that's not what I want. And there we go. So there's the future track showing what's going to go on with this storm that produces a line coming through La Crosse or just south in the next probably 30 minutes. After that, we have additional activity, kind of a bow-shaped structure. So maybe as we get towards, let's zoom in a little bit here to give you a better idea here. So if it holds together, it would be just in La Crosse here by 6:30, and some signatures of maybe a bow-type shape with gusty winds. This activity then would approach probably Tomah by maybe about 7:30, and then additional storms behind this we'll have to keep an eye on to see it overall. But if you kind of zoom back out, this activity will persist here until we get to about 9:30, 10, and then it kind of quiets down a little bit overnight. That's why the severe thunderstorm watch is out until that time frame. So overall, we'll keep track of this. Right now, we still got the tornado warning out until that time frame. We'll continue to update you as we prepare for the 6 o'clock newscast with updates on the severe thunderstorm warning, as a severe thunderstorm and tornado warning as it begins to approach the Cross County and Vernon County.